Peace. Welcome back. My name is Derek Muhammad, formerly Derek Hopkins, and I was born and raised right here in Estill, South Carolina, Hampton County, South Carolina. So today, this is episode 8, part 3. We're diving into the Hampton County court hearing where my sister, Audrey H. Williams, is facing trial for allegedly trespassing without notice. Many of you, if you've been watching along, you're familiar. If you're not, just stay tuned here. All right. This trial is not just about a simple legal matter. This is an actual backdoor effort of some of my relatives and some local officials to usurp my grandparents' trust and will. The intention of our ancestors is crystal clear, but the probate courts in Hampton County and Allendale County seem determined to jeopardize our family's properties. In today's video, you'll hear questioning by Lieutenant Craig Smith directed at Wes Jarrell, someone I've never met or seen, but suddenly he holds the rights and power according to Bud Ferry, who claims he's the leasee of our property for hunting and farming. Now that hunting thing, that's a big deal. That's big money. Over the years, we have leased it for little or nothing. And when I came in, I took those hunting rights back. Johnny and several of these guys got in the back room somewhere, and I don't know if they're paying him off or not, but it seems very clear he's getting something out of the deal because he's riding very hard for these people that are paying us money and trying to limit our income, which I don't understand. But anyhow, what unfolds in the courtroom is a clear conspiracy involving Bud Ferry, Deputy Sheriff Lieutenant Craig Smith, Johnny and Kelvin Gordon, who are both present in the courtroom, and several others, including Judge Keith Smith of Allendale County Probate Court and retired probate court judge Sheila Odom, along with her assistant April Murdoch Schaefer, just to name a few. I'm going to show you how all these people are tied into this through paperwork as well as videos, recordings, and audio recordings. All right, buckle up as we unravel this complete complex web of deceit, manipulation that threatens not only our properties but the very essence of justice. Stay tuned for the shocking revelations from this courtroom drama as it unveils. Now, first you're going to hear from Lieutenant Craig Smith, and he is going to call to the stand Wes Jarrell. This is a raw recording from that court hearing that happened just a couple months ago. Listen carefully here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jeff. The date of this thing would have been 2022.
That is not the correct date, by the way, on which he gave us the tickets. He gave that for 2022. We had a 420 planting party, an educational event that we were having at the farm. Had over 100 paying guests coming, and Lieutenant Craig Smith, along with about 10 other deputies, showed up at the farm and escorted us off the property. Me and all my guests. We moved the event to a local Airbnb, and it was a success. But the intent was to really disturb our event and really put us off. The tickets weren't issued until the following week when I went back and I was watering the plants and stuff that we had going in the hoop house that has been subsequently torn down by these people.
Did you want people off the property that you was leased now? Yes, sir. Okay. Is it true that you told me on the phone that the only person that you want on the property is Mr. Gordon? Correct. And everybody else you want on the property? Correct. Let me see. The the contract. Please agree? Yes, ma'am. Motion is given.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing right here. It just sounds like he's asking for the lease or something, but stay tuned.
Are you familiar with that? Yes, sir. That's my son. Okay. So you understand that he was the yes person. Have you ever leased a property before? Yes, sir. For years.
Lied again. Now we leased his property to his father, but his father passed away in 2019 or 2020. But we had our farm on this property since 2020. No sign of them or anything. So keep listening here. Oh, by the way, he did say I signed the lease. When we got the lease from Bud Ferry, my sister and I went to his office. Those leases were not signed by anyone but Bud Ferry, who clearly said I can't sign leases for Gordon Law and Company or any paperwork for Gordon Law and Company in July of 2021. This is 2023. Keep going.
Okay, my father did. I took care of him. But you did not want anyone on a property but Mr. Nelson. Nobody else had any. In my concern, nobody else had any business on it. We had farmed in the funny ways, so okay. I don't see what anybody else needs to be in there. Which was cutting timber and they weren't doing that, so okay. The fellow said Mr. Derek Hopkins and Audrey Williams was not supposed to be on our property, right? No. Did you? And you say you didn't want people on the property. They wanted people you were speaking of, correct? Correct. Okay, I just wanted Mr. Gordon on that. Thank you. All right. Yes.
So Mr. Gordon he's speaking of is Johnny Gordon. I'm telling you, this is conspiracy now. Now Johnny Gordon doesn't own any interest in Gordon Logging Company, people. Yeah, we're gonna get to it.
All right. I noticed you said you spoke to them on the phone. So
Okay, so let me introduce this too. This is my attorney now, cross-examining Wes Gerald. Listen closely.
so you didn't even realize Derek and his sister was even on the property. No, sir. It was my understanding that they were over there, but I was not there. I went there later, and but I was not there at the time. So when you found out, how did you find out? Mr. Smith called. The police officer called you. Yes. Okay. So the officer. Mr. Gordon, I don't know. So the officer called you, and Mr. Gordon may have been. Okay. So when they called you and said, "Hey, there are people on your property," you still didn't go down there and say, "Hey, get off my property"? No, sir. All of it. I was working at the time. So at no time did you issue an official notice not to be on the property. I didn't think I needed to. So that's enough. You never sent a letter. You never did anything to make sure this. You're alleging that you have possessory rights to the property. You never sent a letter or you never sent any notice to my client. I guess I do my client today. Or Mr. Hopkins that they couldn't be on the property. But I did not tell them they couldn't. Yes, sir, I do understand that, but you do understand trespass being put notice, which means you've given them notice already. And that didn't happen. Is that correct?
So now Craig Smith interrupts here. He didn't offer an objection. I guess he may not understand that we're in a court of law. You have to object to something. But he's like, I'll take this. He's offering testimony here out of line. But the judge will correct him. But I want you all to listen very closely so you can understand the depth of this deceit that's going on.
It was given notice by a law enforcement officer who stood in place of Your Honor, for one, I raised no objection to. You need to say what ground it's on. Just disagreeing is not an objection. Yeah. Okay. So as I said, the officers, as he just said, he gave them, but you never gave them, did you? So he must have got that from someone else, you think? Or did you tell him over the phone? Did he ever check to make sure you were who you said you were? Yes, he was. I told him I was with there. So you were over the phone and you said you were, well, I don't care to lie to people. Just let me ask you, did he know your number ahead of time to know that he was talking to you? Yeah, you could have been Mr. Gordon. Call me Mr. Gordon. I can't remember where that one is on. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it.
So you saw he got really upset there because he was lying. So let's listen on.
Mr. Gerald. Yes. But I said this while ago, when you said you didn't want anyone on your property, on that property. Yes. That was anyone correct? Well, yes. Besides Mr. Gordon or my people that I had helping me working with. Okay. Does it matter that it was Audrey Williams or Derek Hopkins by chance? Or did I change your mind? Yeah, well, no, that wouldn't change my mind. I mean, I didn't go to vote. And you wasn't one leasing the property, right? I was. I had the phone in the money. Okay. Which one? Yeah. Sorry, no further question, John. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to skip ahead here just a little to my next timestamp, which is here we go. Hang on one quick second. I'll skip ahead to the timestamp right quick. 6:30, and you'll see.
Phone number verdict for today.
Right, I'm sorry, folks, but I'm having a little technical difficulties. But here we go. This is where we are.
So the state rep, you have your own. No worries. Okay, you be closed out at the end. No problem. You may proceed. Go ahead. I think I'm going to move for summary judgment. I mean, they haven't shown that my client had notice. They're not even showing that whoever owned the property was supposed to own the property. Mr. Ferry, who doesn't do much probate law, didn't realize that once things are appealed, that basically the probate order is stayed or ceased. I gave you two references that's either stayed or ceased by the order of Judge Price and by the case law. The statute, which is 621308. Mr. Gerald wasn't even there. Never gave a notice before. He just said he got a phone call. He spoke to Mr. Smith. He said it was possibilities from Mr. Smith. So the officer calls you, then asks you if you want to own the property. That's forced. They can't show one where somebody who's of ownership had the authority to tell my clients that they could not be on the property. All they showed was a bad lease that the lease that we had didn't even have a signature on it. So clearly, who is it actually even for? Then we had a special administrator whose order was ceased. And just like he said on the stand, he said, oh, this was limited to Gordon Logging. But this property that they were on is owned by Gordon Logging. So that was the basis of the appeal as to whether that property was part of the estate. During the time of the appeal, my client had just rights to be on the property like he had done 2 to 3 years before. So, Your Honor, with that, we're asking that this case be dismissed. The elements of the crime aren't there. They haven't done anything to show that my clients had notice from someone who's supposed to, and that they did something that they weren't supposed to do. The notice was off, and the arrest was, and the ticket was off. So, Your Honor, we're asking for a dismissal.
Okay, that's it for today. Next time, I'm going to let you hear when the judge came back what she had to say after she recessed. No closing arguments were given. The only thing here was my attorney. He was giving his final request for asking for a summary judgment because none of the criteria for trespassing without notice was met. Anyhow, like I said, you're seeing how this is unraveling and how the good old boy network works right here in Hampton County. We need your help. Please share this video for us, for me, my sisters, and others who are being unjustly hurt by what these people are doing. Thank you again for your attention and your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Peace, Derek.